Introducing my all-wheel drive K-swapped EG hatch build. Well guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video I am so beyond excited for, as this is the start of the Honda build. Now if you guys don't know by now, I am doing Vlogmas. If you don't know what that is, you upload a video every single day throughout the month of December, and this is our 30-day project. Now it is quite snowy outside, which is not what I wanted. We have not had snow all season until just yesterday we got dumped on. And we of course have to trailer the Honda over there, and it's a little bit sketchy. The trailer tires are quite bold, lots of snow on the ground. Hopefully we don't end up totaling this Honda twice. That would be very unfortunate, but we're gonna go ahead and get the truck backed up, hooked up to the trailer, and get this Honda loaded on. Well, there we go. We have the Honda all loaded up. It is now time to head over to the shop. Hopefully with these road conditions, we make it there in one piece. Here we go. We have my EG hatch now resting at my shop. Now, if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I've had this car for a little bit over a year now. When I bought this car, it was already K-swapped. The motor is sitting right there. And then about 8 months ago, I got into a little accident, and since then, I have not touched this car. Now, I started the rebuild series about 7 months ago, and I completely stripped this chassis down. As you guys can see, there is practically nothing left, with the exception of the wheels and some small things like that. But this thing got absolutely gutted. No windows, no engine harnesses, nothing. Now, truthfully, I am surprised with how many of you guys have been telling me in the comments, messaging me, that you guys want to see the rebuild on this Honda. Now, I'm happy to say you guys are getting what you want. We have a goal of completely rebuilding and transforming this car in 30 days, which is a seemingly impossible task, as everything I'm about to do on this car is something I have never done before. Going from building a motor, body and paint work, custom harnesses, all of that. And then plus I am also wanting to convert this car to all-wheel drive. Now for you guys that are new to the channel, we'll do a quick little overview on this car. This is a 1993 EG hatch, with the OEM color being Captivia blue. And then fun fact, about a year and a half ago when I purchased this car, this was the first car that I bought for the channel. So I'm really excited that I'm finally doing the build on the first car that I bought for the channel. Now when I bought this car, it was not a stock EG hatch. It already came K-swapped while retaining front wheel drive. Right over here is the motor that came with the car. It is a K20A2 with the matching 6-speed trans. And this thing was also turboed. I have the original turbo from the car sitting right here. I believe this is like a super old Precision 6766, I believe is the size. And then through my ownership, I really didn't change that much. I put a bigger turbo, I put a 7675 on it. I put larger injectors. I rewrapped the car, obviously you guys can't see. I'll throw a picture up on screen for you to see. But then the last thing I did was throw on some TE37s. Now, other than that, I never touched this car mechanically. I just enjoyed the living crap out of this thing. Josh was the person that convinced me to jump into a Honda, as I was the time he was building his Honda. And I have to say, this was probably the best purchase I have ever made. I beat the living crap out of this car. I wish I filmed more for you guys, but there's videos on my channel of me just beating the absolute crap, hanging on limiter, launching this thing. This car was an absolute blast, and truthfully, I have missed not driving this car for a little over 8 months now. So I am really excited after over 8 months to finally start working on this car and transform this into my dream Honda. Now, there are tons and tons of things that are needing to get done onto this car. As you guys can see, this is no easy task. And of course, I gave myself a 30-day period to complete this car. Truthfully, I don't know if we're gonna be able to complete it in 30 days, but I can promise you guys, I will try my absolute hardest, as I think this would be an amazing accomplishment to turn this into the end result that I have in my mind in 30 days. Now, there are tons and tons of things I'm wanting to do to this car, with the first thing being the all-wheel drive swap. As this car was and still is front wheel drive. But I have to say, the front wheel drive aspect of this car was such a blast. I've never owned a front wheel drive car in my life before, so being able to drive this on the street with a ton of power, I never mentioned that. This is a bone stock K20, and we're making a little over 750 wheel, an absolute blast. Obviously, we were not able to put all of that power down on the street being front wheel drive, but nonetheless, it was an absolute blast. So I'm thinking it is time to convert this car to all-wheel drive. Also, as you can see by the condition of the paint on this car, I am wanting to respray this entire chassis in and out. Now, I've been planning on repainting this car ever since I crashed it, but truthfully, I cannot pick a color. There's 3 different options. The first option being respray this in the OEM Captivia Blue. For some reason though, that doesn't seem that exciting for me, but I know a lot of you Honda purists would like to see that. The other 2 colors I've had in mind was like a Sonic Yellow, some type of Honda Yellow, or I completely respray this chassis a pearl white with like a bronze and blue flake. Painting this chassis is going to be a huge challenge and a task alone, as I have absolutely no experience with bodywork and paintwork, and I'm trying to repaint an entire car. And not only am I just trying to repaint the car, I want this thing to look flawless, which is a very difficult thing to do when you have no experience. Thankfully, I have some friends that have some experience in bodywork and paintwork that are gonna be able to point me in the right direction, so it should make this process a little bit easier. Painting the chassis and doing an all-wheel drive swap already seems like a ton, but I also am wanting to build this motor. Now, for most of you guys out there that build motors, might not seem like a hard thing, but me personally, I have never built a motor before, so I am wanting to learn on this one. Plus, if I mess something up on this motor, I think I could buy like a K-series for like 800, 900 bucks. It's a little bit cheaper to learn on this motor than, let's say, my 17 STI, which is a built motor that costs 10 times that. But my goal with this car is, one, to learn things that I have never done before. That is why I love making these YouTube videos for you guys, because practically everything I do in every single video is something I've never done. I'm a very new car mechanic, builder, whatever you want to call it. I've only really been doing this stuff for about a year. So that is what I love about this. I love always challenging and pushing myself to see if I can do something that I always thought would be impossible. And I know in my mind that I can accomplish that with this car. But with that being said, I know there is going to be tons and tons of things I am going to screw up with this car. I'm hoping not, but I always have to plan for that, as everything I'm doing is something that I am learning, but that's part of it. You have to mess things up to learn, and I'm all for it. But my main goal with filming and making these YouTube videos for you guys is to instill some confidence in you. Maybe you've been wanting to do a build on your car, but you're scared. My goal is to film all these videos, show you guys my mess ups and learning process, but also to give you guys the confidence to go do this yourself. Oh, this is a pretty damn extreme example of a build, as I am going to be quite literally touching every single aspect on this car, but I'm excited. And I hope you guys are just as excited as well. I'm sorry this video was a lot of talking. I just wanted to make this video, do the introduction of what the build is. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and let's get to it.